Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 72. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to get unstuck. You are not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a 6-step process for getting unstuck. So if you're just trying to solve a problem that you're having, come up with a solution, or maybe it's a goal that you're going towards and you're feeling stuck going towards that goal, you're gonna want to hear this 6-step solution because I swear it'll solve any problem and help you start gaining traction and moving in the direction of your goal, or just to not have the weight of that problem sitting on you anymore. So definitely want to stay tuned for that. And then also, I wanted to tell you about the new program. It's the Black Friday deal. Should have put it on last week's podcast, but I didn't. So here we go. The new program is called Let's Be Badass. It's kind of a partner program with this podcast. Let's Be Badass is totally for you. If you want to be healthier, physically and mentally, and try to combat the stress that seeps into your everyday life. This way you can spend more time doing the things that you want to do, doing the things that are meaningful to you. You'll be able to take action and confront some of the fears that have held you back. And you know what? It's easy to do that, right? And that's where this community, Let's Be Badass, is going to come into play, because you're going to have a community of badass women around you, supporting you, rallying behind you. I don't know if you've ever had that, but it's a pretty epic feeling. And then also, if you want a life that's more authentic to who you are and start doing things that you know at the core, like get back in touch with who you are, so that you can create an impact, then this is definitely for you. And it's also for the woman who wants to start taking action. Maybe you just need accountability or tips and ideas how to start implementing things. That's totally what Let's Be Badass is about, right? It's going to give you actionable steps, because I am all about the actionable steps. None of this fake fluff stuff. There's going to be actual steps. And some of these guests that we have on the podcast, they're going to be on here. Only the difference is you would be able to show up and ask them questions at the end of the interview, right? Or maybe even throughout the interview. We'll kind of see it's all something new, and you would be a part of the founding members' journey. And also, here's the power of a community. A community of badasses or badass women can help push you beyond your limits, help see things for you that you didn't know were possible yourself. So sometimes you have to borrow other people's belief in you to be able to accomplish things, right? I can't tell you. Actually, one of my mentors, Jeff Goins, he had suggested that I do a podcast. Until he suggested it, I couldn't have seen it for myself, right? Because I was holding myself back, but for some reason, all I needed was permission to do it. Sometimes just a little bit of permission is all that you need. And I want that for you. I want to give you permission to be a badass, to do the things in your life that you want to do, and to really come back to yourself and listen to your inner voice. Now, let me tell you a couple of things that you'll get when you join. First, there's going to be live monthly calls with amazing guest experts. And we're going to talk to them. Like I said, it's similar to the podcast interview, but then you'll have one-on-one interaction and actually get to meet some of them face to face. And then not only do you get to see them talking or hear what they're saying, but you get to be the part to be like, okay, I have a question about this, or what do you say about this? Can you help me? So some examples about topics that we might cover would be like people pleasing, confidence, time management, organization, like taking action, and just accountability, right? So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, definitely join Let's Be Badass. It's $1 right now, $1 Black Friday sale. That price is definitely going to go away. It's $1 for the first month. So you can try it out and see if it seems like it's something for you or not. And then after that, it is going to be $47 a month. And I can pretty much promise you that price is going to go up. And it's probably going to go up relatively soon. So I would love for you to join right now and get the founding members price, because your price will be locked in once you join. If you join at the $47 a month rate, that's what you're going to be locked in at. So I would love for you to be part of the founding member and kind of shape how this is going to go. Like I said, $1. Is it going to hurt the bank account? And guess what? If it's not for you, then you can move on, part ways, no hard feelings. So yeah. And another thing that we're gonna implement into this group is live coaching and accountability calls. So at least once a month, we're gonna have live calls where we're trying to implement what we just learned from that guest expert. And so say we're doing people pleasing, and we're gonna have accountability calls to see, okay, did you stand up for yourself this month? What's one thing you can do to stop being such a people pleaser? Things like that. And then there will also be worksheets that you can print off and answer some questions and do some self-reflection so that you can figure out really how to implement it into your own life. Not just hear it and then forget it, because I know that's what I've tended to do sometimes. But no, it's actually going to be implementation and accountability on these live coaching calls. And there will also be a Facebook group. This Facebook group is going to be where you can hop in and ask questions or say what you're struggling with or share your wins with all these other badass women. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. But really, at the core of it, what I want is for you to get back to being you again. You are so dang badass, but it would be cool if you noticed it. In this group or in this membership, you will confidently be able to get off the sidelines and start making decisions about your life. You'll experience the freedom of being yourself and owning your choices, and stop having guilt or shame or regret. And you're going to feel proud of the life that you're creating and getting back in touch with who you are and what really matters to you. And that's like the most important thing, right? Is that you're doing you and doing things that align with your values and you're progressing towards your goal. 2020 can stop a lot of people, but friend, I don't think it can stop you. So definitely join Let's Be Badass. And I will have a link to that, Let's Be Badass, in today's show notes. So yeah, check it out. Join for a month. $1. What is $1 going to hurt you? I would love to have you in the Let's Be Badass community. Will you be a badass with me? All right. Now let's get to the action plan for getting unstuck and overcoming struggles. Have you ever got stuck with a problem or a goal and you just run into a roadblock and don't know what to do or how to get out of it? And then you just kind of get in a funk. It's like the longer you stay stuck, the least likely you are to solve this problem, or the least motivated you are anyway. Because you just think that you can't do it, even though maybe you haven't taken any actionable steps to get it done. But the key is to take action, to work through it. Sometimes you just don't know how to do it, and that's okay. So that's what today's all about. Let's solve those problems so that you can get back on your badass way. Today, first step number 1 is, what are you struggling with? Make a list, write down, or put it in your phone under the notes or whatever you want to do. Put it on your computer. Write down what you're struggling with. or what goals you're trying to obtain and you can't seem to get there, don't know what to do. Um, so yeah, make a list of anything you're having a hard thing doing with, and just let it flow. Don't really monitor yourself like, no, not that. No, yeah, sure, that sounds okay. Just write down whatever comes to your mind, and then you can go with that. Um, and then you're going to go down that list of the things that you're trying to get unstuck from, and you're going to pick one at a time. And you're going to run through the following steps after you just pick what's the biggest problem or what's the one thing that you want to solve right now. Pick that thing, and then whatever you're stuck with or struggling with and trying to find the answer to, list all of the possible solutions for that thing. Just off the top of your head, what are all the possible solutions to get unstuck, to solve that problem, to start moving? So maybe you're just stuck or wondering, you just keep thinking this thought like, what if I can't have kids? So ask yourself, what are all the possible solutions? What are all the possible ways that you could find an answer? One being to see if you can get pregnant now. I'm kidding. But you could seek medical advice, or see if you can get tested, or see if you can freeze your eggs. Consider adoption. I don't know. Just put all the possible things of how you could have kids, or how you could find out the answer to knowing if you could have kids, if it's still possible for you. Maybe you're struggling with debt and you don't know how to get out of it. And that's something that you feel stuck in. You have a goal to get out of debt, but you don't know how. So then just you would write down things like read as many books as possible, hire a coach, join a program, learn how to budget, listen to a financial podcast, list anything you could possibly think of that could be a solution to the problem that you're having. And it doesn't matter. Again, you want to write down everything that you come up with, and don't limit it. Don't be like, oh, that's a silly answer. I don't know. Is that right? Would that work? Nope. None of that today. Just sit there, get it all out of your head, and any possible solutions that you can come up with, make sure to write it down. Again, you're just going to be doing one thing at a time and going through all, but I'm just giving you some different examples to kind of get your mind going. Another thing, like say you were going to run a marathon and that was a goal of yours, then what are all the possible solutions to being able to run a marathon? Would it be to run every day, to walk and run, to get some new shoes? Just make a list of all those things. And then you would move on to number 3. What can you do today to find the answer? You wrote possible solutions earlier. It's possible you don't even know the solutions, which is why you're stuck. Sometimes you simply have to Google it, or maybe you have to talk to someone who can help you. Is there somebody who's been through what you've been through before that you can ask them for advice? When I was $106,000 in debt, I had no idea how to get out of debt other than to stop spending so much money. I had to purchase a program to teach me a system, to teach me how to do it, because I had no clue, no idea. So what can you do? Make a list. Can you set up a doctor's appointment to find the answers? Can you Google some solutions? Can you hire a coach? After you find out more possible solutions, make sure to write those down too. Next, this might feel a little bit awkward. List every way that you could fail. If you tried this thing and it went horribly wrong, what would that mean to you? Let's get all those monsters out from under the bed and bring them to light. Because generally they're not so scary then, right? So that way you can, look at them for what they are. And sometimes we build them up to be super scary in our head. And then you see it and you're just like, oh, that's it? That's the worst that can happen? Okay. So what would happen if you fail? Okay, you went to the doctor and found out you couldn't have kids. Fine. Or maybe you failed to climb that mountain. Or maybe people would laugh at you because you didn't accomplish it. You didn't accomplish the goal or the thing you set out to. or you feel embarrassed or ashamed because you weren't able to get unstuck. You weren't able to do that thing that you wanted to do so badly. Maybe like your vision wouldn't come true. So that's hard, right? But again, look at the monsters that are under the bed. Bring them to light. Pull them out from under the bed and bring them to light and see what it would really look like. Again, maybe it's not as bad as you thought. And now that's going to bring us to step number 5. List every way that you can overcome these failures. Maybe it's that you're going to learn from your mistake, or that you'll try again. Say you failed and you climbed that mountain. Well, what are you going to do now? Try it again another day? Keep training and learn? Or maybe if you can't have kids, then you're going to adopt a kid. Or the answer could be, you're just going to stand in your glory because at least you tried. Other people who laughed at you for failing aren't your real friends. And chances are they're not even in the arena. They're not even out there putting in the sweat, putting in the work, and going through the hard things because they're too afraid of failing. So you're going to be proud of yourself because at least you freaking tried. You got out there. Another thing is come up with responses to what people will say. Maybe you come up with a response and say, okay, it's somebody that makes a negative comment to me. I'm going to respond by saying this. So that way, when you're in the moment, you don't have to not know what to say or be at a loss for words. You can say, you have something already prepared. Or just be determined that if you fail at that thing, that you're going to find another way. You're going to find another way to get around it. You're just going to pivot. Previously, when I talked to Jenny Kotler on the Ordinary to Badass podcast here, she climbed Mount Whitney and she failed 2 times. She didn't get it until she failed until she tried that 3rd time. And the 3rd time, it was crazy, you guys. So crazy. She took the long way. She added, I think she did 7 days or something to her hike and added way more time than she needed because the first 2 climbs, she was having such a tough time getting acclimated to the climate change. And she just knew that was her downfall. That's what was affecting her. So she hiked for a week in that area so that she could get acclimated to the climate change. And that worked for her. For most of us, thinking of hiking longer for a longer period of time when you failed the first 2 times would have been no, probably not. That would be terrifying. But she was determined and she found a way. So maybe that's what you need to do. Just be determined to find another way. If you fail, then what's another way that you're going to find? Or just be I'm going to pivot. I'm going to figure out something else. How would you bounce back from your failures? What are you going to do? Is there any safety measures that you can put in place? Is there any safety measures that you can put in place so that particular failure won't happen? Or at least you're going to reduce the chances of it happening? Sometimes there's things we can do to prepare so that we won't fail, right? If you could see that maybe training is going to be your pitfall or acclimation or whatever it is, what is a way around that? What can you do to start doing something in that environment so that you're less likely to fail? Now, lastly, number 6, I want you to create a plan of action. Look at all those ideas and possible solutions that you came up with earlier. And pick the idea which seems the easiest to you right now. And do it. So if Googling a solution seems the easiest, fine, do it. If making a doctor's appointment seems the easiest for you, do that. Whatever your problem is, and you look through all the solutions, you wrote them down earlier, then pick what's easiest and implement it now. The quicker that you implement it and take action, the more likely it is that you'll do it. So that's my encouragement to you. You could even hit pause and, right when this is over, how about that? Right when this is over, start writing them down. Go through all these steps and write the ideas down and take action on one thing. And actually, I would love if you sent it to me, what you took action on at Ordinary to Badass on Instagram. Tell me what you took action on. What is one thing? Guys, the smaller the better. I don't care. It doesn't have to be some huge thing. It's just like knocking down the dominoes one at a time, right? That's all this is about, is knocking down one domino at a time. And you can start with the teeniest, tiniest, smallest thing so that you get traction, you get energy. So the next thing that you do in number 6, or in step number 6, is to number each thing on your list, like all of the possible solutions that you wrote down. Step 2 and step 3, all those things that you wrote down, put a number next to them. Like 1 through 10, or however many things that you had written down, put a number next to those things. 1 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest. So that's going to be the order that you try to tackle those things in. Create a schedule. That's the next thing you're going to want to do in step 6. Create a schedule, one small thing that you can do every day. Heck, it can be every week. It's just a matter of taking action and clearing some of those things off your plate and actually finding out some answers. So put it in your calendar, put it in your phone calendar, whatever. Maybe even set yourself a reminder that you're going to do it on this time, this day, routinely, like either every day or the same day every week, same day and time. Like on Sundays at 5 p.m., I'm going to do one thing off this list. Okay, cool. So I'll tell you, I used this process when I was going through a divorce because it was hard. It was so hard. So I waited for months and did nothing. Nothing. I felt frozen. I didn't know what to do. Everybody kept telling me to get an attorney, and I didn't want to get an attorney. But then I also had a bunch of other things to check off the list. But the longer that I waited, the more terrifying and overwhelming it became. And it just kind of swallowed me up because I just felt frozen, not knowing what to do. And I sure as heck did not know how to get unstuck. And then at some point, like the pain, that's how it seems to be for me sometimes. Like the pain of waiting gets to be too strong, so to where I have to do something to make a change. And so I started by making one phone call a day, because a lot of it, or Googling one thing a day, doing one thing to move myself closer to the finishing line of getting a divorce, right? So I would call one like utility company a day and have my name removed from the list, or call one attorney a day until you figure out what attorney you want, or whatever questions you have, get those solved one a day. And it was bite-sized, manageable chunks. And that's all you need, is small little steps forward. And at least you know that you're taking action. It's encouraging. So I'll tell you that it really did not take too long to start feeling empowered and encouraged and like, yes, I can do this. And like, I'm moving a step closer. So now it's your turn. What are you stuck with? I would love, like I said earlier, I'd love for you to send me a message on Instagram at Ordinary to Badass. Tell me, 1, what are you stuck with? And 2, what is that first tiny step that you're going to take? Again, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't think it has to be anything huge. Just the tiniest step that you're going to take to get unstuck. That's what I want to hear from you. Remember, you are a badass. You can do this. I can't wait to hear from you. So let's run through those steps. Quick recap. The first step, what are you struggling with? Write down everything that you're struggling with. Step number 2, whatever you're stuck with or struggling with to find, or whatever you're stuck with or trying to find answers to, list all the possible solutions that you can think of off the top of your head. Step number 3, what can you do today to find the answer? You wrote possible solutions earlier. It's possible you don't even know the solution, which is why you're stuck. Sometimes you simply have to Google it or go to someone that can help you. So write down a list of those things. How can you get unstuck? Other than the things you came up with on the top of your head, what are other ways that you can learn to get unstuck? Number 4, list every way that you could possibly fail. Seriously, if you failed, what would it look like? And what would you feel like if everything went horribly wrong? And what are you afraid of? What would that happen if that thing that you were afraid of came to fruition? If that came true, what would happen? Step number 5, list every way that you can overcome those failures. So those failures you listed in 4, list ways that you can get over them, you can overcome them. Like if they were to happen, then fine. What would you do next? Or what are possible solutions that you can come up with that so that that failure wouldn't happen, or at least reduce the chances of it happening? And how could you bounce back from those failures? Step number 6, create a plan of action. Look at all those ideas and possible solutions that you came up with earlier and pick the idea which seems the easiest for you right now and do it. If Googling a solution seems the easiest, do it. Making a doctor's appointment is the easiest, or calling somebody, do that. Okay. And then you're going to want to list everything 1 through 10, 1 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest. And then the last part of step number 6 is just creating a schedule when you're going to do these things. And then, of course, message me on Instagram at Ordinary to Badass and tell me where you're at with these things. Tell me what you're struggling with and the first step that you're taking. I want to hear from you. It makes me happy. All right. That is it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Remember, Let's Be Badass is now open. The link to that will be in the show notes. And chances are it's going to be on ordinarytobadass.com/Let's Be Badass. But I would love for you to join me. It's going to be so much stinking fun. If you want to start taking action, if you want to stop being a people pleaser and find accountability with other badass women, Let's Be Badasses for you. Also, if you love this podcast, you're totally going to love Let's Be Badass. It's a behind the scenes look, and you get to ask these expert questions, or ask these experts questions. I can't wait to see you in Let's Be Badass. It's only $1 today and $47 per month after that. But at the very least, join for the month. Get in. Let's go. Let's do this. We're not going to wait for 2021 because you're so badass. You're going to start right now. Even a pandemic can't stop you. There you go. All right. Talk with you soon, friends.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.